One of the things we talk about in the training, Sales Out of Service, is a distinction that I've created. It's the distinction of acting versus accessing. Let me tell you what I mean by that. If someone's acting, you can tell that it's not real, it's not authentic. And if somebody is accessing, it is authentic. Let me tell you what I mean by that. I had the opportunity to go to Broadway plays in New York, and I would see these famous actors do the same bit every night, and they were amazing. And one day I thought to myself, wait a minute, they're not acting, they're doing something else. And I thought of the word accessing. They're accessing something deep within their own humanity that already exists. They're not acting like that person, they are being that person because that's who they are themselves. And they're able to access that from within. And as the person observes it, it's authentic. It's who they are. When I was practicing psychology, we used to have a saying that, in our society, people are acting like they think they should act in order to get along with people that are acting like they think they should act. And you can see that happening. And the old paradigm teaches people to act, teaches people to come in and create relationship in order to, and serve somebody in order to, with all these hidden agendas about how they're going to close the deal and what kind of technique they're going to use to close the deal. This is in the area of acting. And these are shoulds and ought tos that salesperson thinks they should be doing, and it takes away from their being authentic and real and accessing who they really are, accessing their humanity. To me, the greatest salespeople of all have something in common. And that is they're authentic, they're real. They don't have to act. I remember when I ran my business, people would come in to try to sell me something, and they would go through this act, and I always felt like transferred embarrassment. I felt bad for these people because I couldn't relate to them in a horizontal, humanistic way. I had to just watch this act come down. And I think basically the person knew that it wasn't authentic but they thought that's what they should do. I've studied with these sales gurus, and they're all putting on an act. And I thought to myself, sometimes when I'm being trained by these people, like I wouldn't want them to sell me something. I mean, they have good information. I thought the information was great, but I wouldn't want them to sell me something because they weren't in relationship with me. So this is something we go over in the 15-hour training, is that whole idea of how to really access who you really are, rather than acting like someone you think you should act, coming from the old paradigm of all these manipulative techniques.